Hello. So we're just gonna ask you a couple questions about the clothes that you wear and the reasons why you wear them. So can you just start by describing what you're wearing?
Today I'm wearing, because it's warmer out, this sort of lighter short sleeve shirt. I feel like I haven't worn this short sleeve shirt for months now, so it's sort of refreshing. And I'm wearing this necklace that's made out of wooden pieces that are sort of crocheted together that I got when I was in San Francisco at the textile museum that is there. It sort of reminds me of that trip I was there learning to embroider from the Royal School of Needlework. And then I'm wearing jeans because I had a graduate class this morning and I was going to be setting up an exhibit this afternoon, so I wanted to be comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like my wardrobe at some point, in some element of it, has to include stripes, so I'm wearing striped socks and then my monk strap shoes, which um, I got last year because I kind of thought they would become fashionable, and they kind of are. So
hmm
yeah, that's what I'm wearing.
Okay, great. And you touched on this a little bit with like the necklace, but can you tell us what some of these pieces mean to you? Like if any of them have like specific significance?
Yeah, so the necklace reminds me of my trip and my time in San Francisco studying. I didn't mention it before. I have this ring that I have on, and I stayed with a friend in Las Vegas this summer,
Mm-hmm.
and he knew that my mother had passed away from cancer and that I liked to wear a lot of her jewelry to remember her by. And we've had many conversations because his mother also passed away from cancer. And
Mm-hmm.
he saw me getting ready to go out one night and said, "Oh, wait, I've got something for you." And he brought me her jewelry box, which was filled with a lot of things that she had worn. And he said, "I don't have any use for these. Will you take them?" And so he gave me this ring and a couple of other rings and a necklace that belonged to his mother. And so now I wear them, and they don't just sit in her jewelry box.
Yeah,
And he knows that I'll appreciate them. So I sort of wear them with great reverence for her, even though I didn't even know her and her legacy and my friendship with Randy as well.
that's great. Um, so now we want to talk about more like drawing this into like your clothing based on how like your job and the way you work.
Mm-hmm.
So, what made you decide to do the job that you're doing? Because I know you're a professor here, you work in the Center for Dramatic Arts.
Yeah. Um, Gosh, I've always been involved in theater for as long as I can remember, and maybe more than costuming on the acting side of it, but
Mm-hmm.
always with a great intent, a great eye to what those characters, what the would be
Yeah.
wearing. And that always interested me. And when I was deciding where to go for undergrad, I knew I wanted to, incorporate my love of theater, and my mother by that point had taught me how to sew, and I also am a huge history nerd,
Mm-hmm.
and so I wanted to have that in it as well, and so theatrical costuming seemed to combine all three of those different things, and so um, I chose to do an undergraduate degree in theater and then a graduate degree in theater, and then I was really fortunate in my final year of graduate school here. I began teaching the Western costume history class, which I teach in the fall.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and one of the things that I like so much about this department in particular is that all of us who work here on the faculty, not only teach, but we do the things practically that we teach, right? So
Yeah,
I design costumes for playmakers, and I make costumes for playmakers, and so it's like this amazing opportunity to do both sides of it, sort of like put into practice what you're saying in the classroom.
awesome. Yeah, that's really cool. Um, so I mean, you also already touched this on a little bit, but like, how does this make you feel, and does this ever affect the way that you dress specifically, based on this job? Like, does it change when like you're not going to work and designing costumes, like on the weekends maybe, or
Um, I think in terms of like my wardrobe, there's not a lot of division between what I'll wear at work and what I'll wear on the weekends or
mm-hmm.
out. Like of course there are some things, that I'll save to and for an opening night of the theater, certainly. But that didn't always used to be the case. I had a boyfriend who told me once, he was like, "Oh, those are your teacher pants," and I was like, "What, teacher pants?" And he's like, "Yeah, you don't wear those pants at any other point other than when you're teaching." And I said, "Oh God, that's awful." And so like it was then my goal to not have teacher pants and to somehow make my pants, whatever they were, fit whether I was teaching or not. I think I also am very lucky in that, I am a theater professor,
Yeah.
and so, there's a little bit of leniency there in terms of like what and how I should dress. So that's kind of fun.
Okay, and our last question that we just want to ask you is, do you think that your outfits and the way that you dress define you at all as a person?
I think so. I think that they really do. More so now, and as I've gotten older, and because I'm somebody who I love prints and I love color,
Mhm.
and so I think, and that sort of, I also think of myself as very optimistic, somebody with like a pretty rosy outlook on life, and so I think that the colors and the patterns that I wear, sort of relate that. Um, so yeah, I think that my personality comes through in my. I've also when I design costumes, when I make costumes, I'm very attuned to like the details, like the minute details of those silhouettes, and I think
Mhm.
that that finds its way into my clothes as well. My mother taught me that, looking at the details, the quality of those clothes. That there's something to be valued in that for a piece of clothing, and also to sort of like honor the person who made it, right? That
Yeah.
there's a quality there from the very beginning. So
So it kind of circles around.
yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, there's sort of an appreciation from the beginning, middle to the end, and then as I wear those clothes, it sort of continues to layer upon that. So yeah,
Okay, great. Thank you so much.
you're welcome.